Library Board.
Okay, so it is Monday, August 28th, and we'll call to order this Human Rights Commission meeting. The first item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from the 7/24 meeting, so if everybody would like to review. And just let me know if you have any questions or corrections. And if nobody has any questions, corrections, or comments, I'll entertain a motion to approve the meeting, or meeting minutes.
I'd make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
All right, all approve, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. All right, then the next item on the agenda is the budget report. So if you take a look at the financial report, as of now, we have 92% remaining on our budget. There are a couple items from printware that were taken out. Award ceremony expenses, candy, parade expenses, and that is all we have so far. Any questions on this?
Are we going to need to purchase more stuff before the upcoming South Central?
That is
Parade.
on, yeah, it's on the agenda to discuss.
Okay, so there will be
Yeah.
possibly more
Yep.
stuff. Okay.
All right, so we need no motion on that, so we're just reviewing it. Next is the events committee report. So the first item is National Night Out. Do we have a summary of that event, which was held July 31st?
You want to go?
It was lovely weather.
Much
We
better
had-
than last year.
Yeah, and I think we had like steady traffic questions. Yeah, we did.
Positive interaction that when I
Yeah.
was there.
Gave out bookmarks, stickers. We didn't have candy.
Some signs went, so I thought it was good. Good discussion, and some people that were new to town came and stopped by and were interested and were like, I'm glad you guys have a presence here. So that was good to see.
Perfect. Anything else? Okay. Then the next event, item number 2, is the Brown County Fair summary of the event, which was the 9th through the 13th. So we did have a booth there. Any comments? I know we had, when I was there, it was pretty quiet. We didn't get a lot of visitors. I know you said that as well.
Yeah. I think it's good to have a presence there. Maybe we can arrange it around the busiest times to have it actually staffed. We can always have a table there and somehow make it so that people could pick up signs maybe. Because lots of people had tables that weren't staffed. But I don't think we need to staff every hour.
Makes sense, yeah. I know we had already, last year, cut down the hours because the evenings were very, very slow, but we certainly could look at that again.
And I know too, from being there last year versus this year, I think what we had at our booth made a difference. So last year, we had a lot more of those fun stickers everywhere.
I think
Yep.
we should get some of these bracelets.
I know that's another
and
thing
do
on here,
something.
but so I think having different things, we had mini pride flags and stuff, and that was stuff that was donated by a former commissioner, and it really brought the kids in, having those cute little stickers, tattoos and stuff. So I think if we kind of amp up what we have to give, we have our human rights stickers, but the kids want the quote ones or the little cutesy.
Or like little, like bouncy ball, or just little things like
Yeah,
that.
those are the booths
Yeah.
that seem to draw in more. So I know we have that further down, but something to think about.
I agree. It would be nice to kind of up what we offer, just because people do gravitate towards those items. And we'll have the budget to do a few things like that, so. Any other comments on the fair? Okay. One other thing I guess we did talk about is just trying to maybe set up the sign up a little bit further out. But if we cut down the hours too, we wouldn't need as many people. So just kind of keeping that in mind for next year, that people look at their schedules when we decide, so we can fill that out, because we were kind of at the end trying to get people to fill the shifts. All right, the third item, the South Central Minnesota Pride Festival Parade. So that's Saturday, September 9th. We submitted our registration, so we are participating in that parade. We had discussed at the previous meeting, but never did anything about it or designated anybody. We're registered under the New Ulm Human Rights Commission, but do we want to invite another group to walk with us just to get more people, or we have enough people within our commission to walk? Thoughts on that?
I'm just curious if we know if like the Prism, because last year the Prism group from the high school was there at the same time, and so that worked out kind of nice that we had both, you know,
I would guess that they are, but
representations from
I don't
New
know
Ulm
for
there, but,
sure.
yeah.
How many people from the commission are planning to be there?
I am.
I am
I
not.
I can be there.
What day is this again?
September 9th.
September
And
9th. It's in Mankato.
it's like, I don't think the registration's on here. I think it's like around 11, but I will confirm that.
I'm out of town at a wedding.
Three for sure, and then we'll need to figure out what we're gonna do for a
Let me
vehicle.
check my calendar.
We didn't do a vehicle
We
last
just
year.
walked.
We did
Okay,
just walk,
perfect.
but I mean,
Yeah, we totally can do that.
not opposed to a vehicle. I don't know that there were that many vehicles.
I don't
It-
think so. I think it's
It's
I
not
think
usually
predominantly
vehicles. It's more
walkers, yeah.
walking.
That makes it a lot easier.
So
If you want to hand out stickers, we have like 1,000 stickers left, and they're all
Okay.
cut up and separated already, so.
I would like to acknowledge the work Janelle did to get us ready for these events that have happened. I mean,
She did a
She
lot.
did a lot of organizing and work on that. So thank you, Janelle.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I like to be organized.
So
But- So if there's only 3 of us, it might be nice to connect with another group and try to get a few more people.
is there anybody who wants to connect with either or both groups? Has
Which groups are you talking about?
Prism, the New Ulm High School Prism group, or the One New Ulm group?
Oh, yeah, sure. I have the Prism contact for another project I'm doing.
Okay.
The faculty advisor. So I can reach out about that.
Perfect. Awesome.
And then Obehi and I are also part of One New Ulm, and we actually have, well, our meeting might be a little too late, so maybe I'll send an email to
No.
our board.
Okay.
And then kind of go from there.
Okay, and once you two, why don't you two just let Lisa know, and I can send Lisa an email just so she can send out a group
Okay.
email saying, again, this is the date and time, this is the plan.
Okay.
All right, anything else on the Pride Parade? So then the next item for future events, we already sort of talked about this, but just determining if we have enough members available to participate, and then do we want to hand out things other than candy, rubber bracelets, pens, pencils, etc.?
Well, the thing that's nice about the non-candy stuff is you can buy a lot and it doesn't go bad. So you can continue to have that, like the stickers. We have a lot of stickers, and we've handed out a lot of stickers. But, you know, they keep.
Those rubber bracelets are nice too. Everybody likes those. I feel like they
Yeah.
go.
Well, yeah, we could put something like Be Kind or,
And
you
like
know,
New
New
Ulm
Ulm
Human
Human
Love
Rights
All,
Commission or,
something.
yeah, and, you know, you could order multiple colors and
I definitely think the bracelets would be.
they were a big ticket at the Yellow Ribbon campaign booth, which was
They have
next
a
to
good
us.
booth.
Yeah, they do have, they have all kinds of goodies.
Would there be a motion on that subject?
I would make a motion that we attempt to purchase bracelets by the next round of events with some sort of design.
Okay.
Second that.
All approved, say aye.
I
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And then maybe we'll just put a note, too, to just kind of get the events committee together to kind of discuss what we're going to buy and
What it looks
what
like.
what it looks like.
Okay.
And Lisa can send that out, just a small group meeting.
And I
So-
can do a little kind of preliminary research on prices and
Perfect.
quantities.
Sounds good. All right, next item, the Human Rights Award. So we have the documents for 2022 attached for reference. So we have the nomination form and then the press release, so we need to start thinking about that. So the nomination form, the deadline, it has all the information. It's submitted to Lisa, and the deadline is October 14th. which
It
is-
does have 2022 on
Yeah,
there, so.
yeah, this is just for,
Okay,
yeah,
just for reference.
I wonder what the date
Would
of
it,
the
yeah,
week
would
that
it
is.
still
Let me
be
look.
that similar time frame for this year, right?
It's been pretty close to that time frame. We can adjust it a little bit.
Same with the press release,
Yep.
just the dates.
Yeah.
Yeah, because October 14th, this year is a Saturday.
Okay, so we just need to decide when we would like that deadline and then update the documents. The press release went out.
I think October might be a little soon, just if we're giving it out now.
Yeah.
That doesn't give a whole lot of time. Could we push it back to November potentially? I don't know, just a thought.
I would be fine with that.
What if we did like November 10th?
Would that be before our November meeting?
Yes, because our November meeting would be the 27th.
So then we could discuss at that meeting.
Remember?
Yeah, or we could even do the 17th. That'd still be, would give us before our meeting.
10 days, yeah, that's what it looks like it was last time.
Yep, because last year the deadline was the 14th of October and we discussed on the October 21st meeting. So if we did it in
Oh.
November, it would be a very similar.
Yeah,
Range.
let's do that then.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to have the deadline be November 17th.
Second.
All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, and we'll get those adjusted on the documents. Okay, so moving on to Education Committee report. The item we have on here is the poster and essay contest. We have documents from the previous contest attached. The only thing I will say is we got no entries last year, so we could certainly use this material over again and try again this year with the same topic, or if the education committee meets and wants to decide something else, we could decide something else. But the thought was we needed to get out ahead of it this year. We kind of, it was later, we just didn't quite get the information out to the schools. We didn't have a lot of participation, so the thought would be to give them the heads up now that this will be coming, and then decide when we're gonna have the deadline be, and just make sure we do good communication with the schools so they have the opportunity to get submissions in.
Because in the past, we've had a pretty decent turnout and number of entries, so.
So previously, we called the deadline March 1st.
Well, March 1st is a Friday in 2024.
Yeah.
Friday's kind of a good day.
So I think, number one, I think the education committee needs to meet, decide if this is what we're going to recommend for the contest. I think we need to get the information out to the schools right now saying this is what we're planning, this is what the deadline is going to look like, this will be coming, so that they're prepared for it this time. Because I think the feedback we got from a lot of the educators were they already have their lesson plan and they didn't get this information till right before, and then they didn't have time to put it into the lesson plan. So if we can kind of get out and make sure that they know it's coming, they can kind of plan for it with the school year and the curriculum.
So I would make a motion to have the education committee meet to discuss this and then keep the deadline the same for 2024.
Second.
Okay, all approved
Aye.
and opposed, same sign. All right, so we'll make sure an education meeting gets set up. All right, other business. Subcommittee list. So if you'll see the 2023 subcommittees, that was my error at the last meeting. I had forgotten that Obehi was put on a committee at the beginning of the year, but you weren't here. So then when you were here last time, we put you on a different committee, which is totally fine.
I was on the public relations. committee.
Yeah. So the only thing to note is we only have one person on the public relations committee right now. So
What is that?
You know, it was more so when we were doing some responding to letters to the editor and stuff. We've kind of since moved away from that because of some changes to the format.
Right.
So it's maybe something the executive committee wants to look at. Do we still need that committee
Got it.
even?
yeah, that's true because
So.
it's changed a bit.
At one point, there had been discussion of doing a Facebook page, and then the executive committee decided against that because of just some different rules that apply to like a government committee and stuff.
Sure.
So it, in the past, had a little different, and now really there's not much with it, so.
Got it. I'm glad we're talking about this because did I miss an email about the events committee? Because I haven't been to a committee meeting since last meeting?
No, there was
Okay.
not one in between, so you're
Okay.
good.
All right.
Yeah, I would imagine we might not have one till spring, because that's kind of
It's an
when.
as-needed thing?
Yes.
When the
Yeah,
events
when
are
there's an
coming?
event, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Probably the next one will be planning the Human Rights Award.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yep.
And then the bracelets.
And the
we had talked
bracelets, yeah,
about.
so we'll have
So
to
that'll
set that
probably
up.
be tied into the bracelets.
So we'll have to set up a meeting to decide what we're gonna order, and then a meeting for human rights, or the award, so.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just have to decide what we want. Do we want to keep a public relations committee and add somebody? Do we just want to DC the public relations committee and let the executive committee handle it if it comes up? It has not come up in quite a few months that we've even needed it, so.
I guess I, for one, just seen how things have gone and how we've kind of moved away from the letters to the editor responses because of the format. I feel like as a committee or as an entire group, we can respond, or if needed, the executive committee could handle that. That's kind of my opinion, but
I agree.
Is there a motion on that topic?
Before we make a motion, is there anything in our bylaws that require us to have a nomination
The-
committee? Or I mean, a
The Public Relations Committee is listed as one of the committees. So how about we'll table this? I will ask Lisa what the rules are, and then we can
Okay.
come back and I'll let you know what she says, and then we can vote on it. That's a good call out.
that might potentially be something that needs to be changed
With the
with the
bylaws.
annual review
Yeah.
of the bylaws, which we have already done this year, I believe. So that might be something that we need to wait for. But in which case, I would be fine being the only member
Okay,
because there isn't really.
Much to do.
okay.
In some cases, you can just officially say that the executive committee will also serve as your marketing committee, and then you don't have to get into changing bylaws.
Oh, okay, thank
Oh.
you.
Something to look at.
Table that till next time. We'll get clarification, and then we'll bring it back around. So there was a presentation to the New Ulm Lions Club. They had asked that if somebody from our committee would be willing to present. So TJ, Casey, and Janelle offered to present. And we got a date set up, but it's not till April 11th, 2024, just because the 2023 meeting dates have been filled. So we'll just keep that in mind. That will be coming up in April. Review of the human rights brochure. So the contact info and the mission statement were recently updated. So we want to review this draft, and I couldn't get mine to load.
I can't get mine to
can't
load
yeah,
either,
it's
Not
actually.
coming out.
Okay,
If it is the draft of the brochure that we made last year, I believe we might need to update the graphics on it
okay.
because of the whole logo
Yeah.
controversy, because I believe I made these and they would have the new logo that we are now no longer using. If
And
it's the same,
it
but I
says-
can't see it.
8/2023 draft.
So I'm assuming that's the one that I made last year, but I'm not sure.
Well, and in going through all the stuff that was in the boxes at City Hall, I found two very old, one really old brochures, and I know one of them had at least the correct when our meetings are and stuff, and so Lisa might have updated that one, because it had the old city emails and her phone number has changed, so she might have worked off that one too, I'm
Okay.
not sure. Yeah, that's weird, we can't get it open.
Yeah, mine doesn't open either.
I just wanted to make a comment that the city of New Ulm is looking at branding, and and I haven't seen the brochure for this commission, but we're trying to make sure that whenever the city of New Ulm is out there, that image is reinforced and the commissions are a subset. So if, and are those going to be identified by colors, like would the Park and Rec Commission be blue or green, and would human rights be another color? I don't know that.
okay.
We put money in the budget this year to look at branding and doing a video, and so that the City of New Ulm logo should always be on anything that's put out underneath the City of New Ulm, and then the subsets would be the commissions. And I'm not sure what that looks like. I'm just
Okay.
sharing with you that we've have some behind-the-scenes conversations about branding, so that when you go to Park and Rec and pick up their brochure, you know it's City of New Ulm, and that it's not a freestanding Park and Rec. And so how do we get there? And we don't know what that roadway is, but just want to make you
Okay.
aware so that if you do go to print, that maybe you don't print over an abundance, because by next year, maybe by spring, we would have an established format for what we want our branding to look like.
Oh, okay, that's good to
Good
know.
information.
All right, we'll bring that to the next meeting as well, then we can just kind of keep it on the agenda and see what this looks like. I don't know that if, with what we have coming up, we might not even need anything at this point.
Yep.
So, especially if we know that that's coming from the city. So we brought this up last meeting, so just discussing the idea of offering grants to community members or organizations involved with human rights. If we're interested in doing that, we would need to develop a grant program with an application process that defines grant qualifications, and we need to work within the existing budget. And we would need to ask the city council to approve the grant program once it's been defined. So it's just an option for one way to kind of be involved in the community and utilize our funds. We'd have to go through this process if that's something we wanted to pursue.
Given how much money we have left over, I think we should.
I think it's a good idea to get more people involved in the community, more organizations involved in the community in this work, because no one can do it alone. And so partnering or offering grants, I think it's not a bad idea.
Also, another way to get Human Rights Commission's name out there, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to see.
Did you talk to Lisa about this? Is that where you got
Yeah,
that
that's where I
information?
got the information from. So we just briefly brought it up at the last meeting. So she kind of just said this is what we need to do if we wanted to go forward with that process.
So do we maybe, if we had a motion, then do we want to look to Lisa and figure out what the next steps would be in that?
Yep. So that if we would decide to go forward, we could absolutely do that. And then we could just kind of get her guidance on what we would need to do next.
Okay.
I make a motion that we move forward with learning more about what offering a grant would entail.
Second.
All right. All approve, aye. Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right. So the next item, we received a letter from a community member. So I'll read it. So it was from July 27th, and it says, to the City of New Ulm Human Rights Commission from a resident of New Ulm. Hopefully our city contacts the families from Winthrop or other communities whose children have suffered racist abuse in school and on school buses, as reported in a recent New Ulm Journal. We should offer our regret and affirm our welcome to them. And then hopefully our City Human Rights Commission makes this known to our New Ulm public. Respectfully, Hank Campbell. And he was referring to, we discussed this at the previous meeting, the newspaper articles on bullying. There was a two-part series in the journal that described the bullying that this family experienced both on the bus and in the school. So that's what he's referring to in his letter.
And the fact that it was racially motivated.
Correct.
A lot of it was racially motivated. I, for one, would just like to commend Mr. Campbell for reaching out and, I mean, speaking up as a community member. So, and definitely, I mean, I know we talked about it and we talked about some ideas, but is it something we want to issue a public statement on? It's,
I shake my head because I think you have to run it by the city attorney. We have had some conversation behind the scenes, not just about human rights, but the commissions are advisory to the city and not activist.
okay.
And so with that being said, then should that come with the recommendation from the Human Rights Commission to the city or to the city council? I don't know that. I'm just saying.
That makes
We were just
sense.
talking about, you know, we know that there's been some letters to the editor, and I think the recommendation last time was not to respond. And that just puts us out there for more fodder for people to respond to. So I'm not saying I'm pro or, or against it. I'm just saying it was the conversation behind the scenes was, how to handle some issues, not just with this commission, but others.
So the suggestion would be we could kind of put some information and recommendation together and then bring it to the city council, and like the city council could respond, or
Well, that's
That would be the
conversation
proper
we had,
chain
but
of
I haven't
command.
heard the final. if
The
that's
final,
really what
okay.
we
Well, I
want
think
to
at the
do.
very least, we need to let the city council know we received this. That would be the very least.
Do we want to have someone, can we get on an agenda as,
Well, I
commission?
officially report if I've been here.
Okay.
and I
Okay.
bring it to their attention.
Okay.
And I could talk to Chris about whether or not then under reports, if it would be included as part of the council packet. I think that's a good way to get information to them.
Okay.
And then it would also be publicly reported at the city council meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
is that something that as a commission then we would like to make some sort of recommendation to the city council? Or are you saying that's not the appropriate? You're not sure. Maybe we check in with Lisa on that.
Right.
Okay.
I do know, I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong if you have other information, but I do think it falls under our scope, I think, to maybe offer resources to the school, which we've done in the past, if they would like resources on this stuff. So that might be something that we can do as well.
Sure.
I feel like that we can check with the council, but I feel like that falls under our scope to educate.
Yep, absolutely.
So,
Yeah, what I was addressing was whether, to go public with a letter from the
With
commission.
the-
And I think that's where we have to make sure that, is this the position of the commission or the position of the city? And make sure that we're in sync.
And we are a city commission.
That's advisory.
I would
to-
hope, though, that the commissioners, the city councilors, I mean, can see the letter.
Yes.
Not that they just hear there was a letter. I would like to have a copy of the
Yeah.
letter.
And I'd like to see this in the city council
Yes.
packet.
I can have it, Lisa forward it because she's the one who got it.
Yep,
Okay.
good idea.
Thank you.
so I just want to make sure I have this correct for the notes then. So, Kristen is going to make sure that this is forwarded to the city council, and then you're on city council?
As the mayor, I report.
Okay, and so you'll,
That and this
share.
is a commission that I'm assigned to report. And any other, city council persons sit on other commissions, and so they officially report.
and so you'll kind of share
report on the letter.
discussion.
Okay.
Okay.
So just want to understand what you're saying. Because we are under the city, we represent the city. So if we're saying something publicly, it has to be something that the city agrees with.
I would say that we have to make sure that legally, if it's something that's being said, that it falls within the guises of what the commission is established to do. We've had some conversations with the attorney, not on just this commission, but others, that commissions that are advisory to the city council. And advisory is different than coming out independent of the city council when it comes to taking a position or a status statement.
Thank you.
I will also maybe follow up with Lisa and just get some more clarification on what a recommendation would be. Should we go to the city council with a recommendation? Or when they make a decision on kind of what they're looking at with the attorney, what we can do from there? Just to keep us advised on what we are able to do.
Yes, and I don't want to muddy the waters. I just know we have different things. As an example, let's go back to the Preservation Commission, let's say a couple years ago, made a recommendation to the city regarding one of the historic buildings, and the city denied their recommendation. And so just want to make sure that the council is paying more attention to all of the commissions and how can we get that information out there rather than having them react after the fact, saying, well, how did that happen and how come we weren't aware?
Okay.
I just want to make sure that we're communicating and making sure that anything, it's not just this commission, there's other
Right.
commissions as well.
Okay, that makes sense. Anything else on that one? And then I added number 6. I would like to, so we did some education last year with the diversity training, and we haven't really done anything since. I would just like to explore some options for a speaker presentation. It kind of ties into the subject about racism or bullying in schools regarding racism in schools or small communities. So I did sort of try and dig around to see what I could come up with. I haven't had a ton of luck. So I just kind of wanted to discuss, is that something we'd be open to? Does anybody have any thoughts or resources on who we could find to present? Either to the community as a whole, or if the schools were interested in just being the school. I would just like to do something in the fall if possible, if everybody's on board with it. To
We
just
could
kind of
even
get-
invite like admin and have it open to everyone, but invite specifically admin and school board members.
I think it's a good opportunity to kind of tie in, especially this topic, since it was
Mm-hmm.
in our media in our town, to just kind of give some education presentation.
And it's the beginning of a new school year.
Yep, I think a good time.
Forefront in the mind. And as a school employee, I know that we're working on we're working on addressing all the issues constantly. So
Yeah, I think it's a great idea to address race-related bullying, because I know the schools are always working on bullying, but race-related bullying may be something that's not on their radar. It can slip underneath the radar pretty easily because it can oftentimes be something that only the person that's being bullied understands or feels the impact of. So I don't know who, but I guess that's something we can look into.
I mean, I think, yeah, if there's a motion that we want to pursue this, then we can start looking for possible speakers.
if the education committee is already meeting about the poster and essay contests, possibly we could have the education committee also, if there's a motion, to come up with some ideas as a committee and bring it back to this group. And then we could kind of go from there, if the education committee is already going to meet.
Yeah.
Well, and now that we're talking about that, maybe bullying might be a good topic for the essay and poster contest. Roll
Yeah.
it all,
Yep,
wrap
it's a
it
good
all
time.
together. I mean,
Education group.
I think I was struck when you said at our last meeting that you don't have a patient of color that has not had this experience.
yeah.
I just think we should make an effort to bring that more to the forefront, because I think there's a lot of not purposeful but ignorance in the community that, well, that doesn't happen here, and it does happen, and I think it just flies under the radar, and that just kind of stuck with me.
Yeah, I agree. So I move to have the education committee delve more into this topic.
I'll second that.
All right, all approved, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, legislative update. I did not have anything. Then I'm also number 8, city council liaison. I did not have anything for this past meeting. Which brings us to current human rights issues. Nothing on the agenda, but did anybody have anything they'd like to bring forward? Okay. So that brings us to the date of our next meeting, which is Monday, September 25th. And if that is all, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, all approved, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.